So there was a video from your NFL retirement press conference, I think it was like 4 years ago, and you, I think, said you had different options, but you weren't sure which path you were going to take, and you said you were patient. So when I watch Crown Heights, I don't see a football player acting. I don't even see an actor, I see the real character. I didn't know who Carl was before the film, but I see someone who, I'm lost in that world. So can you talk about being patient and those 4 years and then how it's all sort of come to where we are now? Because this is quite a role.
Yeah, sure. I don't think I'm the fastest learner, but I always say that if I get something, I have a chance to do it well. That was my football career, and switching positions and the things that I went through. I didn't pick things up very quickly, but I was able to get it eventually and then succeed at it. And so I've understood patience for a long time because I've known that about myself. So when I finished playing, I didn't put a time limit like this has to happen in a year or this has to happen in 3 years. I just said I'm just going to be patient and train and learn and see what can come from it. And so I was just blessed to have an opportunity come a couple of years later where I could put some of the training to work.
Okay. What parallels have you taken from being in the NFL to now having a career as an actor and a producer?
A lot. You know, I tell people all the time, I think football prepared me for life and has taught me a lot about life, just, you know, not even just career-wise, but just in general. And I think the leadership skills that I guess I acquired in football was something that helped me as a producer, because that's something that you need. It's a very demanding position, and you're in sort of control of everyone and everything. So I think that helped me there. And I think just as an actor, there's a lot in football as far as just the preparation that really got me ready for acting. You know, just the way that I knew I had to be a student, and I had to study, and I had to train, and then at the moment where we said go, I had to throw all of that away and just go off instinct, and that's acting. You know, so I just used a lot of the same tools that I did in football, and I just brought it over to acting and do the same things.
Right. Okay. So there's so many people that want to be, you know, an NFL star, and so many people that want to be an actor. How do you feel that you've been blessed to be both? Because that's quite a ride in your short time on this earth.
Yeah, I was just talking about this with someone, that those are the two things that when you're in school, you know, they say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And one person says an athlete, another person says an actor, and the teacher is like, those are the two most difficult things that you're going to try to do. So I've just, you know, I'm blessed that I've been able to, you know, do both of them and to have some success at both.
You think though too, it's not just being blessed, it's also dedication. And you know, you said about being a slower learner, but I've seen with slower learners, and myself included, that once you get something, then you really grasp it, but it takes time, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely how it is for me. I mean, there's a guy that played football, he always comes to mind, and he got like, he was always around the ball. And he played defense, so he would recover fumbles, he would get a lot of interceptions, and so people, when you would watch him, you would say, oh, he's lucky, you know, he's always lucky, he's always around the ball. But when I watched him, I said, no, I think he actually has prepared for these moments, you know, and I think it's the people that prepare for moments that things actually start to show up for them. You know, I was going out to a lot of directors before Crown Heights came my way. I was just calling directors and writing to them, and you know, you name the director, I probably reached out to them and didn't get many returns, and probably got like 2 from people that you don't know. But you know, so it was a little bit frustrating just trying to, I just wanted to audition for something or just to let them know that I was acting. And, you know, at the moment when I stopped, when I got frustrated and I just stopped, I said, I'm not going to reach out to any more directors. I'm just going to keep training. It was like a month later that Crown Heights came from Matt Ruskin. So I think it's doing the work. I think it's having the faith and the passion behind it that sort of leads you to whatever you're supposed to be doing.
Wondering what Carl King taught you about life. I don't know if you got to, you know, how much you really researched beforehand or while you were on there, but.
What did Carl King teach me about life? I spent about 2 weeks with Carl just trying to get to know him, to get to know what would drive someone to do what he did. And I think I learned more about him from other people than I did from him, from like his family and his friends, and even talking to Colin about him. And I think he just sort of taught me, they both taught me, I think, about the power of the human spirit, you know, and just being able, in Colin's case, just being in prison for so long for something that you didn't do, and then coming out and being able to say, I forgive everyone that put me or had a hand in putting me in this position, was huge for me. And then for Carl, to be on the outside, I mean, I don't know, you and me, I don't know what's gonna drive us to work for 21 years with one singular effort in getting our friend out of prison. Like, I don't know who does that, you know? So taught me about the power of the human spirit. He taught me about the power of friendship. You know, Colin taught me about the power of forgiveness. You know, these are two guys that I like to say are the epitome of what it means to be human.
Was there a day where, before you were attached to Crown Heights, that you said, I'm all in on this acting, whether these two directors get back to me that did, or I face more rejection, but I'm all in now?
Yeah, I was all in when I started. You know, I can't half step. I can't just put a little bit in, because then I won't get the results. But then I also don't put anything into things that I'm not passionate about or curious about. You know, I know from the start if I'm just in it for other reasons, and this was something that I said from the start, I'm going all in. You know, I'm gonna start training. I'm gonna figure out how people are able to transform in the way that they do on screen, and I'm gonna do that. You know, you know, it was something that I just felt that I could go after, and there was nothing that was gonna stop that.
So you know that about yourself from other things in life, including football, that there's no halfway with you?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time, so professionally speaking, as a football player, my first year, I came onto the team and they switched my position and asked me to play a position that I've never done before, and in the most difficult place to do that in the NFL, the most difficult team to learn that position and the style. And they asked me to do that against guys that have been doing it for the last 10 years, that have been playing receiver for the last 10 years. So it took me about a year and a half or so to really just be all in. You know, at first I really fought it, and I wanted to play the position that I was known for playing. And I fought it, and the moment that I went all in, I was able to, you know, sort of turn the tide on my career, and I hit the upswing. And so it's just one of the lessons that I learned, and I can just keep that through the rest of my life, that the moment that I'm all in on something and I'm really passionate about it, the success, you know, the positive things can come from it.